Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Mal. Don't worry, I'm back. Today's video requires a little bit of background information if you don't know about my backstory, which I'm assuming most people don't. I was on the show Monsters Inside Me on the Animal Planet. The Animal Planet about 10 years ago. This is actually when the show first started off. I was a senior in high school. You know what, I'll save what actually happened for what we're doing today, but basically something was wrong with my body. We were contacted by the production company who was working on this show, and I got to film some scenes for it. And I actually have not seen this show in a long time because I avoid it like a plague, because it was super embarrassing with how they filmed it, and you'll see. Today I'm going to be reacting to my episode of Monsters Inside Me. Sorry, there was an ad right there. And you guys are gonna follow along, you're gonna watch, and we're gonna have some fun with this because it was fun to do. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm really scared because I haven't seen this in a long time, and I remember it being very embarrassing when I originally saw it. And
a high school senior.
Oh my God, well, first of all, my old bedroom, 10 out of 10 would recommend. It was super messy.
Falls victim to a veiled attacker.
It was an actual creature, a living creature in my eye.
Oh my God.
A doctor battles a deadly enemy that's been hiding in his body for 60 years.
He looked awful. He looked like he was on death's door.
And a runner finds there's no escape from a killer concealed in his blood.
I'm resigned to the fact that I have cancer.
3 very different parasites that all use the same strategy to prey on their hosts. They are cunning. They are deceptive. They are masters of disguise. Worms invisible to the human eye. Insects thirsty for blood. Microscopic amoeba. They might look harmless, but these are some of nature's deadliest creatures. They can hijack our bodies, disable our immune systems. They are parasites. But to those infected,
This opening scene is just like really, really dramatic, and I love it.
they are the monsters inside me.
Oh.
Parasites survive by using other living organisms for food and shelter.
Parasites have evolved to live in every kind of organism, in every kind of environment on the entire planet. All parasites face the same challenge. They need to get into or onto a host and stay there long enough to reproduce.
He was filmed nicely.
One of the most successful strategies that parasites employ is deception.
Some parasites are so well disguised, it's almost impossible to see them coming. As one teenager is about to find out.
Oh,
August
there's my old
2008,
house.
Chicago.
Ugh, we weren't.
16-year-old Mallory Greener is at the end.
First of all, we did not live in Chicago. We lived in the Chicago way western suburbs. And they mispronounced my last name. It's not Mallory Greener. It's Griner. Also, I don't know if you guys saw, there's my little socks that I was wearing, so cute. I'm trying to remember, I haven't lived in this house for probably the last 5 years, and my bedroom, this was my senior year of high school. Wow, this is wild.
Of her summer break.
Let's talk about the styling choices of this outfit, though, because okay, let's not talk about it right now, actually.
I like to do a lot of things. I play alto saxophone in the band at school. I like to go on the internet like a lot of teenagers. I like to play video games a lot. I like to learn about sharks. It's something I'm kind of want to do when I'm older.
She's unaware.
Poor little Mal. I like learning about sharks, but I'm not doing that right now because of a certain teacher that disgruntled my dreams. But it was so cute.
That her carefree teenage life is about to change forever. The night before her first day back at school, Mallory has tickets to see her favorite boy band, the Jonas Brothers.
I am going to sit 4 rows from the catwalk.
Let's talk about how I was name dropping the Jonas Brothers in here, and did I get any kind of thank you from them? Like, you poor thing, you're on the show, we don't even know what's happening yet, and you love us. And where were they? Where were they for me during this time of need? Oh.
See Kevin and Joe Jonas, and I am really excited about doing that. I just want to go to my concert and have a good time.
When the concert starts, the spectacular light show has an unexpected effect on Mallory.
The spectacular light show has an unexpected effect on me. It hurt. It really did. I'll let me explain that. Let past Mal explain that.
They're bothering me at the concert. It really feels like there is something in my eye, but in so much pain, and it's just very irritating, and the light hurts it when any light gets into it, and it just causes more pain.
But when the concert ends, the pain continues.
Okay, so I have to say this. When they asked me to speak for this, they wanted me to speak in like present tense, I think it was, and it was just so unnatural that I couldn't speak correctly. So if I'm going like, that's why.
My dad is driving me back home. My eye is really starting to hurt at this point. Of course, I'm tired from everything that happened that night, but it's just a lot more.
That was really my dad. They put a thing on his car. We got to talk more about my dad later on in this episode because you'll see.
A lot more pain. I am putting my hand to my eye, trying to relieve the pain somehow because the passing car lights are bothering me a lot.
Mallory goes to bed, hoping that the problem will clear up on its own. The next morning, she wakes up to spend her first day as a senior.
The eye was in so much more extreme pain than the night before, and the sun is coming in from my blinds, and it's hurting it really, really bad. I'd call out for my mom. She comes running in to see if I'm okay. The only thing I can do is just hold my eye, and it hurt to the point where I was just almost on the floor.
She collapsed to the floor, so I began to try to help her to get dressed.
My poor mom. Oh yeah, we still, I mean, we still make fun of these filming angles. Oh my god. Okay. A few things to note. This is really me doing my reenactment. This is really my mom doing her reenactment. And let me just say why I was not called up by Hollywood. Excuse me, Miss Griner. We need to have you in our latest movie because your reactions in season 1, episode 4's Animal Planet episode, they were amazing. You need to come out to Hollywood and work with Brad Pitt, Orlando Bloom. I don't care. Right now, I wish they'd call me up and be like, Mel, you could work with Adam Driver. I'd be like, this is A+ acting right here. Come on, guys. Hollywood. Come on.
My eye is looking extremely red as a fire truck. It looks totally bloodshot.
Mallory is in.
It was really, really bad. Like that was not a dramatic statement at all. The whole white of my eye was fire truck red. It was so bad.
So much pain that she can't wear her contact lenses and is forced to wear her glasses instead.
We have to pause this again because in that shot right there, you have a really nice look at how I used to straighten my hair my senior year of high school, and I don't know who let me around a flat iron, but it was not a good look. It just really accentuated my split ends, and I'm very glad in the past several years I've just embraced the lioness curls.
Concerned about her condition, Mallory's mother, Marcia, takes her to see a local ophthalmologist.
He isn't sure exactly what's there. He tells me it could be two things.
She could have some type of an eye infection or herpes.
Either way, it was a bad situation.
The way my mom says herpes, first of all, that was legit though. Well, okay, backstory. So we actually, before this happened where I went to the ophthalmologist, I went to a walk-in care situation and they weren't sure what was wrong with me. And so I ended up going to school that day, but then it was within a few days later is when I went to the ophthalmologist, and that's when they said it could be herpes. And to my dismay, I look at the doctor, as a naive 17-year-old, at the time I was like, herpes in my eye. I looked at the doctor and I was like, as my mom's sitting in the room, I'm not sexually active, and why would and the doctor goes, no, that's no. I don't remember what exactly he said, but it was, don't worry, I know. So he said it could either be that or the acanthamoeba keratitis, which we'll keep going, but yeah.
The herpes virus usually causes cold sores in the lips. If a person touches a cold sore and then touches their eye, the virus can spread.
All I'm thinking is, how in the world did that get in my eye, and kind of almost laughing at that point because I'm a teenager and, that's what I do.
Ocular herpes might sound bad, but it can be easily treated with antiviral eye drops. The doctor is concerned that Mallory has a more serious infection, but he can't be sure. So he refers her to a specialist.
Dr. Tu!
Dr. Tu of the University of Illinois in Chicago
so awesome.
Is an expert in corneal diseases.
Well, Mallory was sent in to us basically to try to differentiate the infection she had in her cornea among a number of different disorders, including ocular herpes. It is very difficult to tell without special instrumentation and cultures exactly what's going on.
First, Dr. Tu takes photographs of the structures deep in Mallory's eye.
This big machine looks into my eye and it brings up pictures on his computer, so I'm able to look and see what it looks like and what's been in my eye.
The images confirm that Mallory's cornea is infected, but not with herpes. To discover what the infection is, Dr. Tu must perform a delicate procedure called a corneal scraping. Using a sterilized metal spatula, Dr. Tu must scrape living cells from the surface of the cornea. The technique requires a steady hand. One false move and Mallory could be blinded.
That was literally the scariest moment of my life, because it's just as bad as it sounds. They literally took a little tiny spatula that he disinfected like on a Bunsen burner and just oh, it hurt. And they put numbing drops in your eye and it still hurt. And in this still that's up on the whatever side right now, my poor father is outside in the hallway because that is a correct reenactment. My dad does not like anything to do with eyeballs. I mean, really, who does? Except for an eye doctor, but like he like gets ill. And yeah, he was out. Yeah, my mom was in the room with me. My dad just could not do it. And yeah, I don't blame him.
Mallory's father waits outside as he can't bear to watch. Her mother looks on helplessly.
My heart sunk, but I had to remind myself that I needed to be strong for her. He had his burner out to sterilize his instrument, and I'm thinking to myself, he's not going to put that in her eye.
At that point, I'm just, is it gonna hurt? And he numbs my eye, and he just takes this spatula and scrapes my eye. Oh.
The samples are put on a slide and examined under a microscope.
After we obtain the images, it's real time, so I have the opportunity to show Mallory and her parents exactly what's going on.
And there is a lot going on.
On the eye surface on the pictures, it looks like little white clumps of dots.
These microscopic dots are about to change Mallory's life forever.
I don't know if they go into it again, but basically he took the samples, he scraped actually most of it out, I think, during that process, the physical process of like getting the surface stuff out. But they also had this machine I like stuck my eye into, and it spun and took pictures, which was really cool too. That actually felt good, because after like the scraping, it was like like a relief, or was it before? I can't remember, but either way, like my eye was hurting anyway, and it felt really good to just like coat it with like a cool whatever was on the end of that device. Anyway.
Teenager Mallory Greener is about to find out exactly what is lurking in her eyeball.
He says that the dots are in fact a parasite that is living in my eye.
The parasite is a vicious microscopic organism called an acanthamoeba.
We were able to come back and tell her that definitively she did have the acanthamoeba infection. You can see that there are these bright white dots, which are really amoeba. So these are active, and these are actually the ones that are sort of moving around a bit and actively eating and doing different things in the cornea.
The acanthamoeba is a single-celled organism that feeds on bacteria. It can live almost anywhere it can find a food source. And one of the places that bacteria naturally occur is in the human eye.
They have a way of penetrating the skin layer and then getting deeper into the cornea and basically setting up shop there. So they're basically looking for a home and also for food.
The amoeba secretes proteins that dissolve the surface of the cornea. Once in the cornea, the parasite feeds on bacteria present in the eye. But bacteria aren't their only food source. The amoeba also feeds on corneal cells, causing tissue damage and inflammation.
Patients can go on to needing corneal transplants, and a certain percentage actually do lose their eye from the infection as well. So it is a very serious disease.
This parasitic infection is called acanthamoeba keratitis. The parasite can damage the eye so badly that Mallory could lose her cornea, her sight, and eventually the eyeball itself.
I felt kind of a little scared about it because of the fact that it was something living in my eye. It was an actual creature that's eating my eye.
The worst case scenario would be that she would lose her eyesight.
That was like the quote of the thing, and my parents still tease me about that. It was an actual creature eating my eye. I didn't have any practice before I sat down in front of this interview. What am I supposed to do? I was 17. Oof, so rude. But I mean, it gave some good, like, be real, so it's fine, whatever. Thanks, Mom.
And perhaps need a cornea transplant.
So how did these parasites get into Mallory's eye?
Well, acanthamoeba is really a remarkable organism. It can survive in many different environments, and it's actually found both in water and soil. They tend to hang around and live in contact lens cases and also on contact lens surfaces. And so if you put that into the eye, the amoeba has access.
Even a microscopic scratch from a contact lens can be enough for the acanthamoeba to take hold.
That's what like essentially happened to me, is I already had like a scratch in my cornea, and then when I put the contact lens in or whatever water was in, either in the contact lens or water source, that's likely how I got it.
The bad news for Mallory is that killing this parasite is extremely difficult because the acanthamoeba is a master of disguise.
Acanthamoeba has two separate forms.
Hey, Dan.
It can be active when it's feeding and moving around and living off of its environment. When the environment becomes hostile, an acanthamoeba can go from its active feeding stage into a cyst, where it's very tough and protected and can wait for things to get better. The acanthamoeba has a great strategy. It can actually change its identity.
Well, acanthamoeba has the two forms, and really when it's challenged in any way, including medications, they have a tendency to hunker down at these very thick-walled cysts. And it's very difficult to get any medication to penetrate through them. Those cysts are very hardy and very difficult to kill and can live a very long time.
The only way to kill the parasite is with a combination of powerful antiseptics. One of them is the same chemical used to clean swimming pools.
Yep.
Mallory must adhere to a strict regime, taking the medication as often as 12 times a day.
This medication was so hardcore. I remember going to UIC like once a week, maybe once every other week, to make sure the eye was still healing at the time and to get the medication that was literally made right there in front of us, and it had to be kept cool. And I remember just like my senior year of high school putting drops in my eye between classes because that's how often I needed to do it.
After 3 months, she starts to see a change in her condition.
3 months.
It is gradually getting better. Mostly the pain I notice is getting a lot better. There's still a lot of light sensitivity, but it definitely has improved since I first started this.
Mallory has now been off the medication for 3 months, and her current prognosis is very positive.
It is a really good feeling to be almost back to normal again. I consider myself to be really lucky. It's a really good feeling to be able to actually go outside and be able to do stuff again and not to have to sit inside in pain.
Around 25 million people wear contact lenses in the US, but very few actually contract this parasite, and fewer still lose their sight as a result. People who don't wear contact lenses can also get infected, especially if the cornea is scratched. To minimize the risk of catching the acanthamoeba, keep contact lenses and lens cases clean, and always visit an eye doctor if there's a sudden onset of pain.
I really hope that
that's my old car.
No one else gets this, because it is really a horrible experience to go through.
Wow. Okay, so first of all, I love to sing my little Olds 1991 Honda Prelude in there, courtesy of my Aunt Becky. Thanks. It was a great car. I miss that car. It was almost worse than what I remember it, but at least now it's funny. Like before, it was just embarrassing, but now it's funny. So I have fully healed from the acanthamoeba, which is amazing. Just in November, I actually got LASIK, which was something that I never thought would be possible. And my eye at the time, like, granted, this is like a decade later, it was like the cornea was strong enough to be able to perform it, and basically the only like, I don't want to say side effect, but like long-lasting effect I had from the acanthamoeba was a slight cloudiness in this eye. So when I got the LASIK done, this eye is just slightly worse than this one. This one's like, I don't know if you say 20/20, but this one's like a perfect eyeball, right? And this one's just a little bit off, but I never thought I'd be able to get LASIK, and my eyes were so bad anyway, and here I am, you know, without glasses and totally healed from this like devastating parasite. So it's very cool to be able to sit here and see the progress, the change, but I think it's even funnier to like laugh at that video because it's a pretty funny video, and it was a lot of fun filming. Like I said, I loved doing the reenactments for it. That was a lot of fun. I remember taking a couple days off of school so I could do that, so I felt like really cool because here I am, you know, filming my big break, which again, hello. But I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. My friends who have seen it can now like remake fun of me for it because many of them have, and the ones who haven't, or my newer friends, welcome. Here you go. Here I am. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this reaction video, and I will see you in whatever my next video is gonna be. Bye.